Hey everyone, this is LSID932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me for this Love is Blind DC Season 7, Episode 12. We are finally at the weddings. We are finally at the weddings. And I was not going to dress up, but I had to remember my upbringing. In everything, decorum. In everything, decorum. So let's get started. We start how we ended the last time. Ramses and Marissa. He says he had a conversation with his family. He realized that his ex was hurting far more than he realized after the divorce. And Marissa's like, this is about you and I. We can't have outside influences in our marriage. He says, it's not that he doesn't think love is enough. He says there needs to be more intertwined. And she's like, yeah, there's more than love here. She loves him enough to understand that he needs space and to meet him where he is. So he's like, yes, love is important, but feelings are telling him to move forward have led him wrong before, and he wants to be more logical. He doesn't want to end up here years later wondering what happened. So Ramsey says, is her energy going to be too much for him on a day-to-day basis every day for years? And I'm like, Ramses, are you making up excuses? Because it wasn't too much before now. So what has been grating your nerves? So Marissa's like, there's nothing wrong with me. You're right, Marissa. Nothing is wrong with you. She goes on to say, you said you love me for who I am. Every guy says they love her the first couple of months for her energy, and she's heard all this before. She's like, there are times when she does need to calm down, and he does that for her. Why can't he see how good they could be together? Ramsey says these 3 weeks are all the information he has, and I don't think he thinks it's enough. Marissa said this can be our future. And I'm like, is time really his issue? And if it is, why go on this show? Why, Ramses? This show gives you a timeline. Marissa goes on to say he shouldn't have come on the show. She anticipated that when he talked to other people that this might happen. She said this is the first time she's 100% herself, and she felt so sure, yet he is not. She wants someone who will be sure and choose her. She does pull him up for a hug, and they are both sobbing. Ramses keeps saying, I'm so sorry. She's like, are you sure? And the song they play is Please Don't Walk Away. It will rip my heart out. Marissa says, you became so unsure so fast. Keep that thought, Marissa, because I'm with you. So sure, so unsure, so fast? Really? Ramsey said he is sure he loves her, but not about marrying her right now. Marissa's like, you're making a big mistake. This is not right. This is the worst heartbreak she's ever experienced. The song they choose is No One But You Can Make It Better. She takes off her ring. We know this because we see a picture of the ring. They zoom in on the ring. I guess it's on a couch, on a table somewhere. Marissa tells the camera she feels like she's dying inside. 2 days ago, they picked out their song. They were so excited about the wedding, and this feels scary. Did she really make all this up in her head? No, you didn't, Marissa. You didn't. Something has been happening, or something has happened to make him change his mind and make this decision now. So she does call her mom, and she tells her it hurts so bad, and she is sobbing. And the mom just, all we heard was the, yeah, wow. We don't know exactly what happened. So they move on to the bachelor party. The guys go to the Washington Wizards game, where Jarrett and Tyler get to go on the court and play a game with the mascot in front of the fans. They had a great time. The bachelorette party turns out to be a slumber party, where all the girls and one gentleman get together with them. Taylor does say she and Ashley, would have left their person because there were some non-negotiables. And if they had popped up, they would have left, deleted the number and left. And I'm like, really? Really? So we go straight to the weddings, Ashley and Tyler's wedding. And I prefer the Love is Blind versions where the dress is on a mannequin in the room laid out beautifully and the bride walks into it. I did not like that Ashley had to carry her bags inside. Maybe I'm just a little bit, how can I say it? Maybe I'm a little particular about that. The bride should not be carrying a single thing except her heart on her sleeve, okay? So her friends are all supportive. Ashley says the quality of men out there are slim pickings. Ain't that right, girl? She says she's glad she found someone who loves as hard as she does. And he allows her to be powerful. You know, friends say, hey, it's always great in the beginning. We'll put a pin in that. Ashley says her intuition is insane and she is taking a leap of faith, and it means you will, it doesn't mean you'll know the outcome, but it does mean that you are taking a huge leap. Her dad will walk her down the aisle to her mom, and her mom will give her to Tyler. Now, Ashley's grandma and mom look amazing. Ashley has got them great genes. If this is how Ashley will age, my word, she will be a beautiful woman till she reaches her grandmama age and beyond. So Ashley said, I want to get married and stay married. Love and trust are important. Doesn't want to leave any stones unturned. She learned to love her father for who he is and not what she wants him to be. Remember that, people, because that right there is why I believe Ashley may stick with Tyler despite everything we're hearing on the internet about him. She said she is still able to find the good in him. She didn't want a man who treated her the way her father treated her mom. And the mom is like, you chose to heal and to forgive. Now in the groom's room, Tyler said he didn't sleep the night before, and his friends say they're used to the gangster Tyler. Really? What does gangster Tyler look like? Because we haven't seen him yet. Tyler says right before the wedding, right after the wedding, they're going into baby making phase. And she wants a baby in a year. I hope that's not true. Tyler said he's not 100% sure she will say yes, but he can't be certain. He's going to be 100% yes, but he doesn't know what her answer will be. So the friends are all excited for him, hope it works out. And the one friend that was having a heart-to-heart with him, I felt like he looked like he was waiting for the shoe to drop. I don't know why. Tyler's mom comes in, he does say he's nervous, and she agrees this is a normal emotion. He says emotions are all over the place, and she's like, hey, that is jitters. And Mama got a rock star tattoo on her arm, and I was like, Mama, you might be a little fun. He did acknowledge he did not invite his dad, and he said it's because there's no way he can be emotional around him because his dad is like a stranger to him. So Ashley's dad comes, and he's dressed in all black and no tie. Was that planned, or did Daddy just show up like that? Because at least he could have worn, the colors of the, wedding. The groomsmen were all in, I believe it looked tan or gray at some points, but they wore green ties. Daddy could at least wore a green tie. So Daddy says, life is fun. Don't dwell on the negative. Thrive and enjoy the positive side. Bad weather helps you enjoy the good weather. A lot of folks run when it gets bad, and later on they look and say they should have stayed. When it gets bad, there's always brighter skies after the rain. It's a journey, and stick with it. Ashley's dad, that's good and well for normal hiccups in the road, but at what point do you say, stop, this is not good for me? At what point can a person say, hey, this relationship is not serving me and who I am? I'm just asking that because it's great, there are brighter skies through the rain. What if it's a thunderstorm? When do you acknowledge it's not just rain and it's a hurricane coming and you should evacuate? Please, Ashley's dad, at what point? Because apparently there's some rainstorms you did not stick it through for brighter skies. That's why you're going partially down the aisle with her. I just had a couple questions. Tyler cries when he sees her, when she walks up. The mom does not acknowledge the dad when she takes Ashley to present her to Tyler. I thought that was a little something. When the officiant asks who presents his bride, she says, her mother. And I'm like, why are some guests holding goblets? I didn't like that in the wedding scene. Some guests are sitting there with the Love is Blind flutes or goblets. I understand people may be thirsty, but stop them from being able to clap. So to start the wedding, the officiant says there are no perfect marriages because there are no perfect people. There will be obstacles. There will be loss and hardships, joy and laughter. Love is something you choose to do. Mr. Officiant, who told you? Who gave you the inspiration? Because if this came out of the blue, you must know something. Something came to you and said, this is what I need to say. But again, they may not be perfect marriages, but you've got to stop when something is indeed hurting you and potentially your future. But I digress. Tyler was tearing up when he says his vows. Ashley says, Tyler, my Tyler. She never felt love this pure yet fierce. And she's living her own fairy tale. Remember, when Ashley was in the pods, she said she wanted a fairy tale. The problem with fairy tales and dreams is you wake up to reality. So the officiant asks, do you take her, Tyler? He says, I do. And he says, Ashley, do you take Tyler? She says, I do. So we have a wedding. Ashley and Tyler have tied the knot. They have both said yes. We have the jumping the broom ceremony. Tyler has ankle cleavage, I show, and he has no socks on. So leave it in the comments. Is that the new trend? Is that what you would appreciate? The groom, no socks, and showing ankle cleavage? We learned last time when Ramses was getting measured for his suit that when you show your ankles, the tailors call it ankle cleavage. So the song they play is You Got Me Now. They seem kind of subdued after the wedding when the camera was on them and they're talking to each other. It didn't seem very festive. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that. It seemed like, oh, I'm married. Yes, I'm a Mrs. I've been, as Ashley later says, I've been solidified. Okay. Moving on to Taylor and Garrett's wedding. Taylor says she sees a forever future with him. This is her first time getting makeup done. And I'm like, I agree with you, Taylor. Probably my prom was the only other time. Her mom gives her a wedding hanky, and the wedding hanky turns out to be a bonnet that she wore when she was first born. The hospital had given, I guess, all of the babies a bonnet. The mom kept it, and now it's Taylor's something old for the wedding. I thought that was so sweet. Her bridesmaids, though, are wearing white pantsuits, and I love it. Taylor. I really like that white pantsuit thought. Her parents got married, we learn, on the 13th. So their wedding, Taylor and Garrett's, is also on the 13th. So she thought, oh, this is wonderful. This is meaningful. Put a pin in that. We'll learn about something else for the 13th. Taylor says if Garrett's not going to jump with her today, she knows she has a great support system. Her dad had so much love in his eyes when his wife and daughter were hugging. The mom had said group hug, and he was just looking over at her and be like, oh, group hug. And he was just looking at them lovingly, and then it's like, the mom is like, hey, I said group hug. And he's like, oh. But he was just in the moment and feeling it. I really like that. Then we move on to Garrett. For Garrett, he says the climate with his parents is very different. He said it's good, but it's heavy. Tom Taylor's dad comes in and he asks him to help him put on his tie. And I'm like, where's Garrett's dad? What is going on? So Tom Taylor's dad says he barely remembers his wedding because he was hammered that wedding day. He said, his wife reads people spot on, and he trusts his wife's thoughts on Garrett. So he has no problems with Taylor getting married today. So Tom, says you can't make up being in love. That's how he knows this will be right. Garrett said if it felt like it was special to ask for Taylor's hand, and it was needed when they made that trip to San Diego. Tom says, you have my blessing and my undivided attention. There's tough days coming, okay? but y'all could face it together. He said he's wearing his brother's tie, and his brother passed away years ago. And it turns out that Taylor's father, he had 8 groomsmen, and only 4 are still with him. So they have a touching moment together. He says life will have its challenges, and so having a right partner is key. And he says his wife keeps the family together. So then we see, after they cut to Taylor and cut back, his parents do arrive, which I was very happy to see. Mom says it's a shock, this is happening so fast. And Mom cries when he talks about Taylor being right for him and about moving away. The mom shares that they, the parents, also got married on the 13th. So we have Taylor's parents got married on the 13th, Garrett's parents got married on the 13th, and now here is Taylor and Garrett getting married on the 13th. Some people believe in coincidences, some people believe in this kind of connection. So let me know if you do in the comments. They're supportive of him. Dad says you gave it a whole lot more thought than we did. Dad makes it seem like they had a spur of the moment wedding. Taylor and Garrett's wedding, they have a beautiful wedding scene with the white flowers look like they're exploding everywhere. It was the same location as Ashley and Tyler, but it just had a different feel to it. I don't know. So Garrett vows to never give up on loving her every day. Taylor vows that life for him will make the tough times feel lighter. And she added she caught a big fish. And Garrett appreciated that because he is an avid, fisherman. He does say, absolutely do. He loves her, and he absolutely does say yes. She says, I do. And when they're done, it says they feel like an outer body experience. This is not the wedding she dreamed of, but she's glad it happened this way. She says she feels solidified, and I'm like, marriage shouldn't make you feel solidified. You should have that within you. So you're telling us if no one picked you, you wouldn't feel solidified? Is marriage a part of you so much that you need to feel validated by marriage? That is not a good way to enter a marriage. I'm sorry. But I do wish both Ashley and Tyler the best. I wish Taylor and Garrett the best. And we will have a reunion next week. The reunion will be at night, so I will see when my review will come out. But I definitely want to thank you for joining me. As we said, to wrap it up, Ramses called off the wedding with Marissa. Ashley and Tyler both said I do. Taylor and Garrett both said I do. So we have 2 marriages out of this season of Love is Blind. So please join me next week for the reunion. And thank you for leaving a like, a comment, share the channel with a friend, and join me for the other videos that I'm going to present. Thank you so much.